Do you have this strong intuitive feeling that you are just destined to build a business and a life that stands out amongst the rest, but you just don't know how to get there? I feel you. I've been there, and I can see that you are another fellow flamingo just waiting to take flight. My name is Megan Shallow, social media guru and founder of BNL Media Consulting, and this is exactly what I have done through building my own beautiful empire that has become a unicorn in the social media management world, as well as a safe space for entrepreneurs to feel empowered with their digital marketing. All of this was founded on the basis of 3 magical words: breathe, nourish, and love. Are you ready to learn how to be that entrepreneur who shows up online and offline with confidence, has a business that makes an impact in this world, and lives a life full of connection, love, prosperity, and joy? If the answer is yes, then let's go. Hello, and I cannot believe this is the last podcast episode of 2021. What? Where did this year even go? I don't know. And I still am looking at all my vision boards and all the goals that I set and all the things and reevaluating how did 2021 go. And honestly, this year blew my mind. And it was up and down and left and right. It was the wildest roller coaster I have been on, in building my business to this date. Every year does feel like a roller coaster, but this one really was unique. And so as we come to the end of the year, of course, it is a time for reflection. The holidays just passed. We've watched our Christmas movies. We've slowed down. And now it's time to get mentally prepared to ramp up again in January and really move forward with intention. And that's how I like to approach every year. It is with setting an intention. And it was only in the last 3 years, I would say, I've started a new routine, and I'm going to share it with you because it really has been profound in how I set myself up for success in the new year. And the first thing you need is a whiteboard. And that's something that you can get at Michael's or Staples or anywhere. And it's like one of those whiteboards that's big enough that you can see everything that you're writing. So not a small whiteboard. It's a big sucker. And it's something that you're going to see every single day. Ideally before you go to bed, I keep my whiteboard in my room because that is where the reflection and the manifestation and all the magic of all the things can happen in that room. Bedrooms are where we are at most ease and most connected to ourselves, as well as to, if someone's sharing a room with someone else, as well as to our partners who are also sharing our dreams. My vision boards are actually in my bedroom as well. And I'm sure one day, if I ever have to share my room with someone, there will be a conversation of how these vision boards are displayed. But I love looking at them before I go to sleep because that is where the dreams are made. So, first thing you need to set yourself up for success in a year is to throw out the New Year's resolutions and to throw in the New Year intentions. And for me, I like to start kind of broad and then narrow in. And maybe it's the academic in me where it's like build a mind map, start with something in the middle, and then expand from there. And so that's how I've started to do my vision boards. And I'll definitely post a photo of how to kind of structure it. I don't like sharing my vision board with people to the extent like posting it and showing everyone all of the things that I want, but I will do a draft or something for all of you so you can see on the social media, and hopefully we can throw something in the notes too. And so first you need a whiteboard, and then since we are only at the we're still got a few more days until New Year's Eve, which is when I always do my vision boards and my whiteboard intention setting for the year. So I start to sit and ponder about these questions usually in December. I started a little early. I started in November, but the question I like to ask myself is, what is the word that I want to kind of have as a theme for my next year? And the first year I did this, it was love. And love, I thought it meant one thing, but it actually turned out to be something completely different. And that year was 2019, and that was the year that I decided to move back home. And it was moving towards love and the love that I had in my life, which was family and friends that I am so grateful to have here in the Lower Mainland, Vancouver, British Columbia area. And I thought maybe it would be like romantic love and I'd meet someone and there'd be all this love everywhere. And that wasn't the case, but the word held true, and I kept holding on to that word, and I forgot that its meaning was much bigger than just that one piece. And so that was when I realized that this setup is so perfect. So 2019, moved towards love, came home, lived with family, maybe that was sorry guys. Yeah, it was 2019. I can't remember what 2020 was. It's like really escaping me right now, which is so sad because I wish I could tell you. But it could have been breathe. I'm not sure, which would have made a lot of sense. But 2021, which is where we just went through, I chose the word being. And it just came to me, and it didn't really, at the time, it didn't really make sense, but I just knew I had to use it. And I had never really used that word before it's like, what is your word going to be for this year? And I was like, being. And most people just looked at me and was like, okay, like, what does that mean? But for me, it was just being myself and just allowing things to be, not forcing anything, not forcing like huge shifts in my life. Just gone through 2020, and everyone on this world will never forget that like tumultuous time. So I knew that I just needed to be. And so I set intentions around that. So I put the word, like if you have a whiteboard, what you're going to do is you're going to put in the circle what your intention is, what your word is. So in a circle in the middle of the whiteboard, you're going to put that specific word. So think on it. You don't have to decide right now, but start to plant that seed. And then afterwards, you're going to actually segment the whiteboard into 4 squares. So you have the circle in the middle, and then you draw lines going up and to the right and to the left and going down. So then you have 4 compartments that are going to shape what that middle word is kind of going to, like, you're going to mind map it. So what does that mean in different compartments of your life? And you can break up these compartments in any way that you like, but I'm going to share with you how I like to segment mine. And so for me, I have one side it's called personal. So my personal goals for 2021 in context of this whole, like, for me in 2021 is this being state. Examples of what's on that, I'm just going to pull the board here, don't mind the banging, was 1, I wanted to be a great maid of honor. And that was something that was huge for me this year. My sister got married. I had no idea how to do all the things, and I figured it all out. And it was the best wedding I have ever been to, probably biased because she's my twin sister, but also the most amazing experience. And I was really able to step into a space that I had never done before for my sister. And that was really important for me to do. I also set some financial goals. Always set some financial goals, put those numbers down and say it out loud, whatever that is for you. I don't really focus heavily on the money, but I will write it down and just trust that it is going to come forward. And the number on my whiteboard, guess what? Just talked to my bookkeeper and I achieved it. And I really wasn't sure if that was going to be a reality. And it was, and it came out of nowhere. So I'm really excited about that. And then, of course, I just had a few other goals that were very personal, and I just won't bring onto the feed, but I did achieve them. The ones that were meant to be achieved, they did. Some of them didn't, but that's okay. So I have personal. That's the first one. Always think about, what do you want for yourself first? Okay. And then, of course, I had health intentions. So those were things that I really wanted to tackle with my health. I wanted to deal with some hormone issues, some gut health issues. I wanted to work on some fitness, finding some balance and being within that. I discovered a lot. Some of the intentions that I set weren't actually in alignment with what I discovered was true for me, but I still feel like I've achieved a lot. And even going into next year, I'm so excited to think about new health intentions that I can set for myself around my new word, which I will share with you at the end. And then I have my business. So I put my business in the left, left bottom corner, I write BNL, and then I set intentions for that. And make sure you put numbers in that too. How much do you want your business to generate in revenue or profit or anything that's specific numbers for you? Make sure you put the actual dollar sign, because again, you might think right now, not sure if I'm going to make that. But then also at the end of the year, when your bookkeeper comes to you and says, guess what? You've made this, and it's accurate. It's like, it's a holy moly moment because the trusting that the abundance is going to flow and seeing that every day and just knowing that it's going to arrive and trusting all of that is enough. But you have to put the number down and you have to be confident with that. So in your business one, whatever business goals you have, maybe you want a new branding, maybe you want a rebrand, maybe you want to receive some grants from the government, maybe you want to make 6 figures. If you're a 5-figure business, maybe you want to reach that 100,000 goal. Like, what are those specific things that you want in your business? Setting the intention for that. And then, of course, relationships. And this is all relationships, friends, family, lover, dog. What are those goals that you want in those relationships? For me, I really wanted to reconnect and spend more time with friends and build those relationships that I felt like I had lost in 2020, as well as I had just moved back home and could barely see anyone. So all of those things were really important for me. So I really held on to that. And there's a few bullet points in there around that and those important pieces. And so that's how I love to set up my new year. I sit down in the evening. I don't like going out on New Year's Eve. I love going inward and figuring out all the things. Sometimes I'm alone. Sometimes I'm with my sister. But otherwise, like for me, it just really is a magical time. And New Year's Eve is my favorite time of year. Other than Christmas Eve, when I get to hang out with my family, I just love December for the opportunity of serious, deep reflection. So when you are diving in to 2022, start to go inward and think, like, what is it that I really want? And don't be too broad. You have to be really specific with the universe of what you're looking for, but also don't discount that your dreams won't become a reality. So if you want to buy a house, write that down. If you want to have an apartment or if you want to have a down payment, write those things down, because if you don't, then you're declaring to yourself that you don't actually believe you can have it. And so for me, I've learned a few things, like set a few intentions in the past and they weren't specific enough. So I kind of achieved it, but I didn't achieve it enough, or they were too specific and I didn't allow things to kind of fall as they may. So this year I'm really excited because it's my 3rd year doing this. Well, actually 4th year doing this. I feel like I'm a little bit of a professional now of all of these intention settings. I've gotten to this point in BNL where I have manifested things that I truly did not see coming, but I did say I wanted it. So I had no idea how the plan was that it was going to arrive and get there, but it always arrived when I needed it to and when the timing was right. Again, coming back to that word, trust. But that's not my word for 2022, even though I'm a huge fan of it right now. My word for 2022 is building. I have set a foundation, and I just got chills even saying it, which is really interesting. But I have, over the last year, by choosing to just be and really connect with who I am, what I want, what my boundaries are, what I value, what's really important to me, all of those things that I wasn't really sure of going into this year, but I knew I needed to figure out. That is what has arrived for me to build over the last year, to build this strong foundation for actual sustainable growth. And right now, like BNL is a multi-6-figure company, which I absolutely am so grateful for, because it isn't only able to support my dreams, but it's also allowing BNL to be a supportive space for others to build their own lives and their own dreams. And that's why I created this space. And that's a whole other conversation. But to go to the next level, I want to build, and my whole team wants it to build. So we had to set this great foundation where we're all in alignment with ourselves first. And I am so in alignment There are times, of course, when I don't feel in alignment, but we always have to go through those in order to get kicked back into our own rhythm, which I love that word. I love that term. It's something a mentor of mine and Living in Balance encouraged me to just be in my own rhythm. And that has resonated so much for me with this year with this word of being. And so now I am ready to build. And 2022 is all about building. And I am so grateful to have you all on this journey. I haven't gotten specific with the details of what the building is going to look like and what the numbers are going to look like and all of those, but I'm letting that all sit. I'm letting it all sit. So when I come to the whiteboard and I erase it on December 31st, 2021, I will be clear of what I'm going to do and what I'm wanting to do next. So take this time after you've listened to this podcast. If you're still in December, if you're in January, you can still do the same thing. Wherever you are at, I still highly recommend setting this intention, doing the work that requires on a New Year's Eve. If you have plans for New Year's Eve, that's fine. Do it the day before, or maybe you do it on January 1st. I'm a huge fan of doing it in December though, because there's something just really powerful about the switch from the 31st to the 1st, but you do you, whatever feels right. This, of course, can be taken and you can do this on your own and shift things, and you don't have to have 4 quarters. Maybe you want to break it up into 6 sections, or maybe you only want 2 sections. Whatever feels intuitively right for you, go and do it. But set the intention, get clear, say to the universe what you want, and just watch as those things start to unfold. And then also watch the things that maybe you put on your board that start to fall away because you realize they weren't as important as you thought they were. One thing for me that was on my board was I wanted to be able to do pull-ups. And this was a thing that I've just always been able to want to do. And then I got to a point where I was so close to doing that because I was working with a personal trainer and it was great. And we were doing all the things to get me there, but I wasn't happy. And my body wasn't relaxed. I was so stressed. I was having a lot of emotional things. And then I just realized that I don't really want this. This is not what I want, even though I thought it was a goal that I wanted to achieve. So the things that you put on your board, they may teach you something else. They may not come true, but they won't come true because you'll realize, wow, that isn't actually what I want. So it's powerful either way. It's a great exercise. 2021 was a wild ride, and I am so grateful to have all of you along for this roller coaster because 2022 is going to be a lot of building, a lot of growth, and a lot of lessons that I'm going to learn that I am going to end up sharing with you on this podcast. So I hope everyone has an amazing rest of your 2021 year. I look forward to hearing about the reflections of what happened for you, and I would love to hear the word that you're going to choose going into 2022. It's going to be powerful. I can feel it. The people that I've talked to can also feel it. I always ask everyone around this year, what if there was a word that you could use to describe how you want to go through 2022? What would it be? That's my favorite question, and everyone has an amazing answer that just feels so in alignment with them. And for those that haven't thought about that before, they love the question because it gets them thinking. So whether you're an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, a business owner with a bunch of employees, or just, listening to this podcast because one day you will fly and take a leap of faith towards your dreams doing whatever you love. This is a question that I want you to ask yourself. Get yourself a whiteboard, get yourself some cool whiteboard markers because we all know that back in the day in school, we just loved being able to have cool whiteboard markers like our teachers. And now this is your chance. Get all the colors of the rainbow, enjoy it, and have so much fun, and share in the comments below or on our social platforms the word that you've chosen for this year coming up. I cannot wait to hear, and I hope everyone has an amazing and safe rest of 2021, and we will see you in 2022. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Fly Flamingo Fly with BNL. We are so grateful you stopped by, and we hope that something from today's conversation ignited the inspiration you were looking for so that you can keep moving forward towards the life of your dreams. This podcast was produced by BNL Media Consulting with the amazing help of Podigy Podcasts. We'd love to hear your takeaways from this episode, so be sure to leave us a review, as well as give us a follow on Instagram at BNL Social. If you need any help with your social media marketing, feel free to visit our website at www.bnlmediaconsulting.com, and we would be more than happy to support you. We hope you have an amazing day, and we cannot wait to connect with you again next time. Have a good one, everyone.